What's up, everybody? Welcome to Real Time for the Real Everyday Movie Fan. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And today we're giving you our real-time review of Maze Runner: The Death Cure. Now, from seeing this movie, do you think this was kind of a good finish, even though you haven't seen the first one, or no, you haven't seen the second one?
I have a weird relationship with this franchise. So in preparation for this movie, I hastily began the audiobook of the first book. I read the audiobook of the first book, and then movie was upon us, so I just watched the second and third movie. So I've still never seen the first movie, but I've read the first book and then watched the second and third movie. So it's
that being said, do you think this is a good completion of the trilogy?
I don't think anything about this makes sense. Because first of all, I know that at least the second book took some huge liberties, because I started the second book since watching the movie. And it's like, wow, this is not the same at all. This is totally different. They told a different story. I'm just still at the very beginning, but it's like, whoo, this is a different story. And I remember in the theater thinking, or not in the theater, like at home watching the Scorch Trials thinking, this makes no sense. And then watching The Death Cure, like, this makes no sense, and it's pretty stupid. So, yeah, we haven't even started the review in earnest, have we? Okay.
No.
You can save your friends, or you can save us all.
Okay, so Maze Runner: The Death Cure was directed by Wes Ball, stars Dylan O'Brien, Thomas Brody Sangster, Kaya Scodelario, Ki Hong Lee, Giancarlo Esposito, Rosa Salazar, Patricia Clarkson, Aidan Gillen, Barry Pepper, Natalie Emmanuel. It's definitely got some good actors in it. And
there was a surprise role in there. I don't know if I want to give it away because some people don't look online who want to see this. But I will say there was a surprise return role that I actually really liked. That was one of the things I liked. But I'm not going to get too much into it. I just say I really liked the introduction. I think he had a great character development to it, kind of changed the character, that's for sure. But what did you think of it overall? Like, what score would you give it?
I would probably give it probably a 3 out of 10 at this point. It's
okay.
Like, there's a lot of parts that are very entertaining when you're watching the movie, but the movie just makes no sense. Now, like I said before, I read the first book, watched the second and third movie. I know that I've since started reading the second book, and I know that it's just completely different from the movie. The movie went off like a totally different story from where I'm standing, from just having started the second book. And it's just nothing about the second or third movie makes sense, and they're just sort of all over the place. And it doesn't really seem to know what kind of movie it wants to be or what kind of story it wants to tell. And like, it's just bouncing around from one plot point to the other. Like there's a main plot point of save Minho, right? That's like the main. Like if you watch the first two movies, you know that at the end at the end of the second one, Minho gets captured, and the plot is to save Minho. And there's that, but there's also this thing going on with the cure, so you can kind of probably predict that something's going to happen there, and it just doesn't. And so we kind of go back and forth between some of that stuff, and not in a good way. Like, you could do that in a good way, but they don't. It's like it's very confused. It's a very confused film. It feels very disjointed. It feels like, something happens, huzzah, yay, let's go home, and it's like, no, wait, that's not the climax. We still have a half hour left of the film. And it's just, again, there's stuff that just does not make sense, that's pulled out of nowhere, and quite frankly, is very stupid from where I'm standing. Like stuff, oh yeah, that happens to be that thing, and that, oh, okay, so that's all going to happen, and we're just fine, and based on what I'm reading with the second book, I'm seeing that they went off in a totally different direction from what this author had planned. So I don't know if this is still in a different direction from the third book, but I can say that if it is, it's a colossal failure in adapting these books. If it's not, the books aren't that good in the first place. We'll see. But yeah, go ahead. What did you think?
I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad for me. It was just okay. I was going to give it a fresh score, but I don't know if I still will. I don't know. For now, fine. For now, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Only because, like I said, for me, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was just okay. Like, the problem, one of the biggest problems it has, the saving of Minho lasted way too long, especially when you have something that could be very dramatically told when it involves the cure. or like, you know, figuring out what they figured out. I don't want to give too much away, but when they figure out, oh, they actually found the cure, but how they found it, that could have been done in the beginning, like, you know, beginning of the movie, and that could have been all been about that.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just kind of an afterthought. And for something that's supposed to be that important, shouldn't be an afterthought. Yeah. But I will give credit where credit's due. Dylan O'Brien did a pretty good job, I thought. He did all right as an actor and as an action star. I did like some of the actual camera shots that they chose to do. The cinematography looked pretty good. The action was great. And the other problem I had too is that it was not just a little, but very, very predictable for me. Like there are moments I'd watch it and I would lose suspense because I know exactly what was going to happen, and it happened. And I will say the ending kind of threw me off because I figured the main character go in a different direction than what I thought, or what would what happens to him would go in a different direction than I thought, and but I just didn't like that end result. Like I said, other than that, the cast was all right. I liked the camaraderie with him and Newt and Minho.
That was really the best aspect.
That really was just kind of the friendship bond of that.
There's this. It's not even just like the friendship, but there's this concept of like how far they'll go for. There's just this loyalty, and there's just this intensity to these friendships of like what they'll how far they'll go and what they'll do, and then even with Brenda, the character of Brenda, also I feel like
it's
a character that's like I think lacking. They could have said more about her. I've always felt with these two movies that like I've wanted to know more about her. But I mean, Rosa Salazar does an awesome job, and that's definitely the sticking point of the film. If it has any strength, it's that. But there's also there's so many things we talked about, especially near the end. There's things that characters do that don't make sense. Like there's something that a villainous character does because it's sort of what the villainous character is supposed to do at this point, but it makes no sense for him to do it at all. He has no motivation to do it. And then there's also, I have to say this, there's two parts of this movie that the heroes defy the laws of physics and don't die. There's one part, if you've seen Stranger Things especially, right? Like, you're just like, God, Hopper would tell you, you're not going to survive that. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, why on earth? Like, I think Batman and Robin is the last movie, literally the last movie where I saw someone try and make you believe that that's physically possible to survive.
Yeah, that's fair. I did those couple moments. I think I know what you're talking about. I'm like, come on, no way.
There's two moments for me.
No way. Come on. No. And one of the things I didn't necessarily like was that they had these complex ideas for the reasons these characters are doing what they do. And instead of exploring them more, especially with within each other's, against each other's characters, like during dialogue, they don't really go into it in depth so much. It's kind of another throwaway thing. Whereas you could have made more complexity out of that by having more of that dialogue between these characters and figuring out why they're doing what they're doing. Especially when it pertains to Teresa, the character, Kaya. Yeah, I thought she did a great job, but they didn't really explore her as much as I wanted.
It was kind of like the whole thing. It's just sort of half-assed. The whole
But like I said, I'll give it where it was due. I loved the action. The action was great. The CG was pretty good. The cinematography was really good too, and I loved a lot of the camera shots. I really did. I was looking at some of these camera shots. I'm like, that's kind of, you can tell the director at least was trying to make something look good. Maybe he was just given like a shit sandwich and tried to make it as polished as he could. But I don't know. I don't know what the whole story is there, but I don't know. Overall for me, it was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Can I recommend you see it? If you're a fan, go see it.
Well, then you have to.
Yeah, you kind of have to see it. If you're a fan, go see it. You'll still, like, if you liked the first and second one, I'm very happy for you. I actually really liked the first one a lot. To me, the second one was a pile of turds, but and the third one was just, I'll say it was better than the second one, but it still wasn't great. And if you're not though, and you're just looking for something to go see action-wise, hold off. Black Panther's right around the corner, and go check that out. But even then, I've heard some great things from Den of Thieves as well. So I mean, take that what you will, but just save your money if you're not a fan, and just wait for something a little more actiony if that's what you're looking for. What about you?
I can't recommend this film. It just doesn't make any darn sense. So yeah, just skip it for now. Maybe read the books. I'll let you know when I finish them. So
I will say it is maybe one of those movies, if it's on Netflix and Hulu, maybe you can just like sit down for 2 hours and check it out. But wait till then at least. Don't spend your money yet on it. So. Okay. All right, folks, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. What did you think of Maze Runner: The Death Cure? Leave your comments in the section below. Tell us whether you liked it or not, your positives and negatives, and your score out of 10. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Also, if you like what you watch, then please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel so you can receive more of our various content in the future. Also, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. The links are in the description below. That's all we have for you today. I'm Josh Williams.
And I'm Ryan Murphy.
And thank you for keeping it real
with ReelTime.